So, I'm gonna start with the intro as I always do, and then I'll introduce you. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to another edition of Catanation Studios. Here again, and I'm joined once again by Galina Marcus. And this is a very exciting time because, as a recording, this is going to be the 99th episode,
What?
which means after this is we're gonna hit 100.
Oh shoot, I should have waited for one. I want to be in that girl 100 episode. Okay, I'll give it to someone else.
As we all know, the 100th episode will be actually live at Tierra Central. So that pop-up event will also feature a live show.
I'll try to be there. I
Yeah,
can't promise, but I'll try to be there. This is so exciting. You have done almost 100 episodes. Wow. Congratulations, Alex. And your show is thriving and blossoming, and you're doing so much for the community. Thanks for having me in the show again.
of course. And yeah, last time you were on the show, it was literally right after we hit 1 year. So it was just kind of like it kind of segued to what the future of the show was gonna lead to. And now we're back and a lot has changed in our lives. So let's just start off by saying how have you been? What have you been up to the last year and a half?
Oh, well, last year and a half, as you may know, I had a baby. So who is actually almost 17 months now, as of the recording date. So it's October 6th we're recording, right? So on October 10th, he will be 17 months. He has grown so much. It has been an incredible journey. It's probably the most difficult and the most rewarding thing I have ever done in my life. And I know that this is such a cheesy thing to say because every mom says that, but I mean, this is true. This is absolutely true.
Yeah, and I want to say congratulations on having the baby.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, and I am glad that, I didn't lose the touch with the art community. I didn't skip a bit with the podcast. I was proactive about it as I was pregnant, getting ready to deliver my baby. I was recording it ahead of time, and then after he was born, it was quite challenging, but it was quite fun to, being a mom and trying to jungle juggle juggle all those little things. So now as he's getting older and he's going to daycare and I'm having a little bit more time, I'm back to work. I'm full time. I'm full on with producing the new season of the podcast right now. Um I'm showing a new collection of work in Carlsbad, North Coastal Art Gallery. And I just launched a new project, which is a grassroots project for the good of the whole San Diego County, and it's related to our arts and culture community in San Diego, which is super vibrant and diverse. And as you know, and you have had so many brilliant people on your podcast, so I'm really excited to be here and talk about that.
That's like, yeah. It was kind of like a blessing in disguise because I'm at 98. I need 99 to get to 100. And at that very moment, you called me.
It's we're connected. It's universe. I got you.
Moment. And I wanted to talk to you about the San Diego Art directory that you just launched and just share a little bit about what that is and what is your lineup of work in that.
Well, so let's start from kind of a very back. So since I started doing the podcast and getting more and more immersed in the art community, not only in San Diego because my guests are coming from all over the place, but I think at least a third, if not more, of my guests are creatives and artists and art organizations from here, from San Diego County. So having a privilege of being exposed to people from all over the county, from all walks of creative lives, I keep picking on the same kind of a themes and topics that, the community is very supportive, the art scene is very vibrant, but there's something lacking in this. San Diego is kind of stretched out along the coast, and different communities being so far from each other are kind of disconnected. The opportunities for artists that exist in one part of the county are not necessarily being translated to another part of the county. Different resources for artists are kind of also, scattered and dispersed, and most of those businesses are small without means for wide promotion. So it's really, and there are so many different organizations who are doing a great work with local artists, but again, everything is kind of like, little patches here and there. Even though like if you look at them separately, they're doing an amazing work and literally moving the mountains. And I kept thinking, like, if only I had a place where I could just go and have everything at my fingertips. So I don't have to search through the internet what is happening in different places in San Diego, where I can go and find a concert or listen to a band playing, or some independent little theater, or dance company, or art show, or call for artists, for example, right? They exist, and there's plentitude of them in San Diego County, but there's no one place where you can just go and search, right? So as a consumer of arts and culture, I feel like it would be very convenient to have all of that gathered in one place where you can just go and put like a simple keyword or filter by your location and the topics, like, hey, I'm looking for I don't know, art fairs in, let's say, Carlsbad, and let's see what's happening there and when, right? Or I'm looking for museums, and you will see what kind of museums exist in different parts of the county, and what their hours and admission and whatever. And as an artist, I would really love to have that simple search for all the resources that I could possibly need, right? So grants available, or calls for artists, different galleries that are open for a pitch, or print companies, like, you name it. There are so many different places, like a Verver shop in Ocean Beach. It's a small shop, but it's such a great resource for the art community, because they just welcome everyone, and they're running their own Voltaire Street art fair right now fairly regularly, I believe a couple of times a month at least. So, but if you're not local there, or if you don't know someone who is right there in their community, you just don't know that it's happening, right? Or if you happen to stumble upon something on Instagram, which again, Instagram is so oversaturated, right? So, and then I had a interesting guest on my show, whose episode actually just aired. His name is Jay Bell, and he's an artist. He is a founder of a nonprofit in North San Diego County, and he's also a commissioner for the arts and culture for the county of San Diego. And I started asking him those questions, like, is there a resource that exists? What does Commission for the Arts and Culture doing for the San Diego County art community? How can I be involved? I have some ideas I can run by you. So I was met. All my ideas were met with, they were welcomed, but I guess moving needle forward, you really need to be proactive, because Commission is what, 7 people, and they're serving the entire county, and there's a lot of I don't know, the bureaucracy involved, and there's a lot of stuff happening on like a local government level, let alone little businesses, right? So I thought that I just need to really start with this project as a grassroots, because I have the means to create this kind of website, having almost 20 years of marketing experience, being familiar with different technologies, and being a pro in WordPress. I was like, I'll just start doing it, and then I will present present it as actual functioning platform and see what happens. So I did. I launched it in September, around mid-September. I already have a few listings. I already have few people coming and checking in, creating their accounts. And I just presented this project for the Commission for the Arts in Encinitas. And I am going to do a voyage around the county, meeting the commissions for the arts and culture everywhere in the county where they exist. So, city council, in like your area, if you guys are listening, if you want me to come over and do a presentation, I'll be happy to, which is also kind of unnatural for me because I'm kind of a behind the curtain person. I can make things happen, but stepping forward and actually speaking publicly about something that I'm doing is really uncomfortable. But I so believe that this project will be beneficial for everybody, not only our community, but the entire San Diego. So I just gonna do it.
No, you mentioned that, it's like a first for you, kind of like stepping out of, your comfort zone and actually speaking about and sharing about your story. I mean, when this will be up, everybody listening, you guys will know that I had just appeared on the Heartful Truth podcast, sharing a little bit about my story about battling anxiety and depression. However, that was a very tough podcast to do. It was a great podcast, but it was definitely one of those different takes because I'm like, this is going behind the scenes of who I am. And for you, has it been hard or easy into sharing your story? And about what point did you feel more comfortable going up to people and sharing your story?
I still feel you. Being vulnerable is such a difficult thing to do. And, being a public person running a podcast, like I know it for myself, doing it for 2 years, just now I'm starting to feel more or less comfortable because at the beginning, I had such a terrible case of the imposter syndrome, and then thinking like, okay, I have my voice is not necessarily a radio voice, and who am I in the art community to actually, bring this forward and interview all those? Like, I was even scared to reach out to people and ask them to be guests on my show because I thought that they will think that I'm lame. Like I'm no one, and why would they even talk to me, right? And it's not like it's a free show. I'm just genuinely curious to learn about different people who I interview. So yeah, I've had a lot of problem with that. And on top of the professional life, being on public and trying to like to the point you kind of you fake it till you make it, right? You be afraid and do it anyway. And there were moments, especially in the late pregnancy when I was still recording, I had a pregnancy brain, and then whoever says that this thing is not real, you guys are not. You don't know what you're talking about. It is real. Like in the mid sentence, I would just forget my question and I would apologize and do one take after another take. And I was embarrassed and I was blushing in front of a camera, speaking to an artist of I like nationally and internationally known. Like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I just forgot my question. I'm just very pregnant. I was just so lucky to have understanding guests and a good editor who would help me cut these things out. And, so it kind of still sounds more or less professional. But it is really difficult to be vulnerable and um, confident at the same time. And then on top of this professional persona that we have on the podcast, there's a whole mountain of personal stuff happening that our listeners just don't know about, right? we have day jobs, right? The podcast is not something that is paying the bills and keeping the roof over your head, right? We have relationships, we have children, we have, I don't know, like clutter in the house is a huge contributor, right? For example, when my baby just turned 1 year old, I actually was hit by a um, very hard case, not very hard case. I just can't compare what case would be harder than the other, but I just didn't expect to be hit by postpartum depression. And I knew that it can happen at any moment within the first 12 months. And for me, it was like 11 and a half months. And I was like, oh my God, I just thought that I skipped the whole thing. But then it hit me to the point that I was waking up in the morning and thinking, like, I wish I didn't wake up today. And those things are not easy to handle because in those moments all you want to do is to disappear and don't engage with anyone, but then you still have to present yourself because what you're doing means something for someone else. So I really understand what you're talking about. Yeah, and I feel you, I feel you a lot. And this is not an easy job. This is a very vulnerable position to be. And I think what gets me going is I just believe in what I'm doing, and I am genuinely interested in people I'm bringing on the podcast.
It's really beautiful the things that we do here in the podcast from, having laughs, having chances to, be vulnerable and sharing like life stories and stuff. And for you, was that the purpose when you wanted to start this new career path for you?
I can't call it a career path. This is really grassroots. Like, I'm not making anything on this. At some point, I probably will have to find some funds when the directory is going to be filled, and I will have to like pay for a bigger storage, hosting, database, email marketing, etc. But at this point, I just care. I mean, I'm a part of San Diego community, and I am part of San Diego art community, and I care for both a lot. And I feel like this is going to, like, San Diego, especially like if you go to places like Escondido, who's really supportive of their local culture. If you go to Ocean Beach, that is trying to become a new art district of San Diego. If you go to Barrio Logan, that is a really boho vibrant art scene. If you go to North County, Encinitas, in Carlsbad, you will see that they're doing a lot of public art and a lot of events. So an Oceanside, being a military town, they have an amazing museum, and they actually have like a number of brilliant artists over there. So knowing that in large, San Diego is really proud of how much art and culture we have, but not being able to bring it all together, I just feel like this is the least I can do. This is a small part in this whole thing, and it's like I know how to do this, so it's not going to take a lot out of me to just give this to the community for like to use, right? So if I can contribute, like the podcast was the thing for me when I started it. It was kind of like I'm alone. I'm cooped up during the pandemic. I really want to engage with people in the art community because I feel like I am going nowhere, and I don't have I don't feed off of other creative people. And then it very quickly became also kind of like a public service, because I realized that what I do on a podcast and the conversations that I have matter for people who listen. And my small audience, I mean, this is not a financial podcast, right? I don't address to millions and millions of people all over the world. But I do know that people who come on my podcast as listeners, they stay with me because what I do matters, and the stories resonate. And that like I feel like this part is my contribution. If I can make our community a little bit better, if it helps even one or two people, that makes a difference. And I feel like this project, San Diego Art Directory, uh, is going to do the same thing. It's not obligatory. No one has to participate. But if people participate, they will see that they can take advantage of it. Uh, there's a possibility for visibility and promotion. Yeah, why not? I mean, it doesn't cost anything except for 5 minutes of your time of creating a listing, right? So yeah, it's a service.
Yeah, and it's really cool what you have been able to do. And how has that gone so far? Like, how have you met any new people in the process?
I actually have, yes. And well, first of all, I it's the first time I'm being involved in local politics. Like in my past life, I would never imagine myself standing at the podium in a city council chamber presenting something, and now I'm like face to face with people who are deciding on some really big art stuff for like the whole city, right, or a county or whatever. And I was like, guys, like, I'm here, I know that you have enough power to grease this wheel and make it moving. So, and I'm here to just give this to you to make you believe that this is for you and this is helpful. Like, I am not the person that I'm terrified of public speaking, first of all, right? I was kind of, passive when things were like remotely political. I don't usually participate in those things. So stepping over that fear, and going and really, you know becoming like a full-on citizen with the idea that serves the community, that's something new. It's a totally new identity for me.
No, it really is. And I think part of it does have to do with the people that you meet and the people that kind of surround you. I mean, prior to recording, I brought up that I work in a before and after school program. And I honestly wouldn't have gotten that job if it wasn't for this podcast, honestly. I met someone very close to me that knew that I was in desperate need to like move out of what's next for me. And
Mhm.
that's when this job just kind of like um fell on my table, and I said, all right, I'll take it. And I've been happy ever since.
Yeah, it's totally true for my podcast as well. That's the best networking tool I've had probably in my life. I do get to meet and talk to some amazing people, locally and internationally. And this is why, probably this is why, in part, I believe that I can succeed with this project, the San Diego Art Directory, uh, because I know a lot of people now, and I have enough rapport and good relationships with them, and I know how much they care about the art community in San Diego as well. So yeah, I actually see that you are wearing a Sue Loca t-shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I know that she's also very active in the creative community. So
Yeah, actually, she actually did an event. It was like a spoken, not I won't say spoken word, but they basically shared about working in businesses. It was really cool because one of the people who also spoke with her was my dad,
oh
and
wow.
I had never met him up to this point. And then she's like, oh, "Okay, I could kind of see Alex's personality coming out from it."
This is so awesome. I know that I think she's on board with one of the art nonprofit organizations locally in your neck of woods. So yeah, I mean, she's a great advocate. And her business is creative. She's not like a visual artist or something. She's got absolutely amazing craft, business, but she cares enough to be on board of the nonprofit organization, actually move the needle forward this way, right? So yeah, this is the thing about San Diego. Um, this is why I think that this might work, because I know how many people, like individuals, who are using whatever is in their power to make things happen for the community. Our community in San Diego County is incredibly supportive. So when there is a good idea that is going to work for everyone, I just believe that people will come on board.
Mhm.
So I will appreciate the introduction to her. I want to have her on the podcast as well.
Uh, yeah, I wanted to ask you because, were you nervous when starting this at
Sorry,
first?
say that again, please.
Oh
It
yeah,
just
I just wanted
broke
to
up a
know.
little bit.
Yeah, I just wanted to know if you were nervous when starting this idea. Uh,
Absolutely.
yeah, and I just kind of want to know, like, at what point did you just kind of like, get the nerves like out, like, you know what, like I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna
I'm
commit.
still nervous.
Uh,
I'm still nervous. I'm sitting on the edge of my chair right now as I'm talking to you, because to me this is also an opportunity to spread the word. So right now, I guess I'm just, I'm taking it one step at a time. I'm not creating like a huge campaign or something. I'm going one place to another and talking to one person at a time. I'm presenting at one commission at a time, and just we'll see where it goes. I give myself 12 months to see if it's actually working, if it has, a potential, if community receives the message and is supporting it. So if it doesn't work, I mean, I'm not going to, die over it or something. If it doesn't work, then that just, again, this is not for me. This is for the community. So if community doesn't want it, I'm not going to pursue it further, because it's for them. I can't make them like it. I can't make them use it, right? I just think that this is a good idea. And if community wants to do it, then I will think about how we can expand, how we can serve more people, how we can bring new features, how we can create campaigns, and I don't know, email notifications to everybody to advertise the events and art fairs and like literary readings, you name it, right? But if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. It's the matter of, me creating something for other people and offering it, right? And it's up to them to accept the offer or not. It's that simple. But I am still nervous, and I'm less than 1 month in. I am already seeing, as people are starting to sign up, I'm seeing that there are some technical hiccups that I'm nervously working through, because I already started. I'm talking to people. I'm on your podcast for for goodness sake, right? So I know that as people will keep signing up, if it doesn't work, then I'll have to very quickly pivot and find some other technology that works, and do it very quickly and transfer whatever content I already have to a new platform. Um, but that's my problem, right? Because I initiated this and I said that I'm going to make this work because I have means and expertise. It's not people's problem that I have, some technical hiccups here and there, right? So like, I have no idea if it's going to work. I'm really, really nervous.
yeah.
But I think I want it to work bad enough that I am willing to, sacrifice my fear of public speaking and, spend my time researching different technologies that work better, like one or the others. So it's that.
Yeah.
That's the fire under my butt.
Yeah, and part of the experience that I learned from doing this is you kind of do have to go the extra mile. You can't just be someone on the internet, texting people. You kind of have to like go to events, show up,
Exactly.
and in a way, that's how people take you the most serious because you're
Exactly.
extra mile.
Exactly. And as I mentioned, I am more of a introverted person. It's easier for me to make things happen behind the scenes. So like working in marketing departments for almost 20 years, it's like I can arrange, a speaker figure of the company to be like a face and put them in the PR. I will find all kinds of PR opportunities, but I will never appear myself. I will make things happen on the back end. And in this situation, I have to be, you know, facing everybody and talking to everybody because there's no one else who's going to advocate for this.
Yeah, exactly. And are you planning any future pop-up events, anything that's gonna coming up your way? Any place that where you're gonna be sharing your story? What's gonna be?
I yeah, thank you for this question. This is a great question. I think that I would probably try to come to different community events in different parts of the county, and see if I can get a table, or in some ways to present myself and meet people. So right now I have time constraints because I have a little child as well, right? So it's a matter of finding a child care, and having prepared for what I need to do. But as part of my presentation for the Arts Commission, I am asking for city's support, and one of those things is to have a table at the city events, right? So if I have an opportunity, I don't have a capacity to organize something myself. I have never done this. I would like to do maybe something in the future. But again, 12 months from now, when San Diego Art Directory is a number one platform for all things, arts and culture in San Diego, then yes, maybe. But at this moment, I don't have a capacity to organize an event myself, but I would love to be part of the events that are already happening and where community is already going.
Yeah. If I could give you some advice, Galina, one thing
Absolutely.
that has worked for me into me getting a table, me getting a spot where I can share my story. Like I mentioned, going to events, but even showing up with like a flyer and just talking to people and just connecting with them, that has always helped me the most. And that's kind of how I kind of got my foot in the door. Is just
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm already designing some flyers and stickers, and I will absolutely, if I have a table at the event, I will probably have either a laptop or iPad, with a platform open and where people can sign up right on the spot, and get a sticker and a card and a flyer, some sort of information. I am absolutely, I'm so excited about this that I will be happy to talk about anyone what this platform is for and how it can help people.
yeah. Well, I already have three people in mind that you can talk to, and I'll probably send you those contacts right after this podcast.
Absolutely. I will be happy to.
Perfect. And just to slowly wrap things up here, any advice that you want to give to any creator out there, anybody, and what can you expect coming up for San Diego Art Directory?
Well, any advice is you just go to san diego art directory.com and create your free account, and see what happens. And if you have your own workshops that you want to advertise, feel free to submit the listing. If you have a place like a little art store or gallery, or I don't know, a music store, or like, I mean, even if you're just, even if you're a teacher, in the creative community, and you have sip and paint events, why not just do it? Just do it, because the more people we will have participating, the more people will be able to see you. And I think that this is a great opportunity, especially for those creatives who are not very comfortable with running effective social media, or creating their own cutting edge website, and not only creating a website but also keeping it up to date so it actually starts showing up in Google search. internet is a very saturated place, and promotion for artists and creatives is like it's a full-time job, even like for anyone, but for artists and creatives it's especially difficult because we have to be in multiple places at once, and we have to also keep up with all this internet algorithms to be seen, and that's what this platform is going to accomplish for everybody. I want people to be seen in the San Diego arts and culture, and this is why it sounds broad, right? San Diego arts and culture, but at the same time this is a very local search engine, so it doesn't go anywhere beyond San Diego County. And it's only for the arts and culture. You're not going to see, I don't know, interior designers over there, or, like auto body shops who are doing like custom paint jobs or something like that. This is not arts and culture. This is a very creative work, but it's not arts and culture. What you will see is museums, theaters, literary events, classes and workshops, all kinds of education in arts. You will see galleries, you will see maybe individual artists who are advertising their solo shows or group shows. You will see grants and open calls that are available. You will see local music bands. You will see available venues to present your work or have a concert. You will see like places like art studios for rent. So all those resources for the creative community and what creative community puts out for the general public, that's what that place is for. And it's only for the San Diego County. So it's a very local search engine. You don't have to surf through Google search results to see what's happening in San Diego. It will be all in one place. So that's that's my advice. Like if you don't want to struggle with creating and keeping up with your own website, that's going to be a good place for you to start. And because I will be the one taking care of SEO, and I will be the one taking care of the email promotions and all the other things. And I'm doing this because I want people to be seen, not because, it's not a commercial project by any means. It's for everybody.
Fantastic. And I think that's what people are looking for. Something for everyone, something that's different, something that's new, and something that people can connect with. And I'm very excited for your project, Galina, and I cannot wait
Thank
for
you.
following year and see how this is going to turn out.
Thank you, Alex, and thank you for inviting me again to your show. And I'm really happy to have this opportunity to talk about this new project. I mean, I might be a little bit too excited, and again, within the next 12 months, it might fail. But as of today, I am pushing my way through this and with good hopes and my fingers crossed. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Course, and in this podcast, so I have a podcast coming up on Wednesday, but then a week from today, I've decided to post this episode as well. So it'll be live on the podcast website, and for the first time ever, we'll be on YouTube.
Yay! Am I the first full episode on YouTube?
Yeah, first one.
Wow. Wow, that's a lot of pressure. Okay, I didn't do my makeup today. Keep it real.
Well, I needed a test run before we get to the hunt, which will also be on YouTube.
I really appreciate it, Alex. Thank you so much. That's a great opportunity.
Yeah, and thank you again for doing this, and thank you for calling me. This was a very great opportunity. I was very excited, and I was so glad to see you again.
Likewise.
Thank you. Awesome. Well, again, this will be up a week from today, and then after that, we'll see you then.
Thank you.
Have
Bye.